Hey guys, it's Maymay and we are live for our Thursday afternoon crafting session. And I think I want to do, we're going to start doing, and I'm here with my trusty, somebody gave you a new name. It's not Sidekick. It was, I can't remember. Somebody gave you a new name, but I forgot it. But I'm here with my trusty sidekick, Vinny.
Well, welcome everyone.
And we're going to make this card. I kind of think with the Thursday video, it might be fun to let Thursday kind of be a card making video day. I don't know. Here's my problem. I get bored whenever I make series. Whenever I say this is what I'm going to do, I get bored and then I struggle with doing it. So I think we're just going to roll with it and see what comes out of this. But for those of you who were not here for Tuesday's video, I want to tell you a couple changes that are going to be coming to the channel. One is this. We are going to go back to our Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday filmed video schedule, so they will not be live, and we're going to let Thursday be the live day. Now at this point, we're going to do our Crafter After Show on Thursdays after the live, but we're asking you guys, would you like us to continue the Crafter After Show on Tuesdays, where instead of me doing a live and a live after show, we do a filmed and a live after show. So you'd watch a filmed video and we'd give that time to play, and maybe we'd come in at like 1 o'clock or something and do the after show. So we'll see. We'll either give you one or two, so we're waiting to hear your feedback on that. I know many of you are going to be happy that we're going to be doing only one live a week, and I know many of you are going to be sad. I can't fix everybody, right?
We cannot make everybody happy,
so
as much as we try.
I do try. I like to listen to your feedback. I want to know what you have to say, and I enjoy the live shows so much. So, somebody said, do what's easier for you. Well, that's not the case, because easier for me is live shows, but so many people don't like live shows, and so, we're just going to try to make it work. So, here we go. This is the Fond Noel stamp set we released on Tuesday, which you guys have loved. I mean, this one has been flying off the shelf, so please grab them before they're gone. As you know, we bring everything back and it'll come back for the season, but you guys have been loving this one, and I do too. This is one that I just like to pet, this set. So here's what we're going to make today. I thought I would show you how to take these kind of images, because a lot of times you'll have these stamp sets that have these smaller images and you may not know exactly what to do with them. The bigger images are kind of easy, but the smaller ones are kind of hard. You're like, what can I do with these? I thought I'd show you this today, which is a lot of fun, and I want to give you some tips on making these stamped wreaths. Now there are some very specific ways to do it, but I'm going to show you my simple, quick, and easy way, because y'all know I do simple, quick, and easy, right?
That's how we roll.
It's the only way I know to do it. Sorry, my voice is going. Okay, we're going to make an A2 size card. To save time, I went ahead and made myself a base. Another cool thing, I'm using some colors that aren't necessarily Christmas. Somebody asked me on Tuesday what's on trend, and in my opinion, what's on trend is non-traditional Christmas colors. Did you notice that at Derek Ayers' warehouse?
It did seem like there were a lot more tans and things like that they used. More rustic
grays. Grays were huge.
More silver. Well, really gray more than silver. I know there's probably not a whole lot of difference in those two tones, but really was quite a bit.
So I decided to do this a little less traditional. This is some copper paper. I'm going to show you what I did with that. And then less traditional colors for the holidays. I think it's cute, so let's get started. A2 size card base I've already done in green. And then I've got this is watercolor paper. Let me tell you why. I know y'all want to get started. I'm sorry. This is why people don't like live shows. So let me show you this. I'm going to bring you this technique. This is probably going to be my Saturday filmed video, because I want to kind of talk you through this. But I love this painterly distressed watercolor look, and it is the easiest thing to get. You will be shocked. But I was playing with watercolor paper, so I'd cut a bunch of pieces down. So I decided I would go ahead and just keep using watercolor paper. So this first piece is, and I want to tell you the sizes of them really quick. This first piece is cut at 4 by 5, and that's going to be our front piece. Our inside panel is your traditional 4 by 5 1/4. This is for inside the card. It's normal. I just cut this one a little bit different. All right, let's get to stamping stuff. Here's this. So I'm going to just kind of use my mat to get this fairly straight. This is a 2-inch circle punch that I just punched out of a piece of scrap paper, which I dug out of the trash. That's what I do. I hope y'all do too, whenever you need something like that. And I'm going to let this be my template for my wreath. So I'm going to lay this on the front of my card. And again, I'm an eyeballer. If you need to get particular with this, measure it out, but I just eyeball things. So I'm going to come a little bit from the top, maybe more like that. Let's go about in this area and trace it. Ooh, my pencil's so super sharp and it's leaving a dark line, but we can get rid of that if we need to.
Christina asked, what size is an A7?
I don't know. Hang on a second.
Did you say A7 or
this
A2?
is an A2, which is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. I don't know what an A7 is. If I had my little scoreboard, I might could tell you, but I don't see it.
Jamie says an A7 is 5 by 7.
Oh, that's exactly correct. By the way, that is right, because 7 and 5 by 7, that's how I remember that. Yes, you're right. All right, so we've got this done. Now, what I want to do is from that set, we're only going to use 2 of the images. We're going to use this one that is this tiny little, I want to say palm frond, but that's not what it is at all. It's a pine needle bunch, okay? So I'm going to use this little pine needle bunch, and I'm going to use the smallest pine cone. That's the ones I'm going to use from that set. And the colors I chose, and my oxides, y'all know, gotta use these oxides because I love them. So I'm using Lucky Clover, and what is this one? Vintage Photo, my fave. All right, so I like to keep my ink kind of close because you're going to go from ink to paper pretty quick. Here's what I do. I ink up this little pine bunch, okay? And I'm going to start just taking the edge of the pine. Let me see if I can do it this way. Taking this bottom section of the pine, and I'm going to lay it on my penciled circle. And I'm going to bring this so you can see it. I want you to see how I'm starting that. So I'm laying that on that penciled circle like that. Now for my next trick, for my next bunch, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go to the other side of the pine, and I'm going to come right a little up from that one and stamp it on that line. So let me show you what I've done. This really does make a difference, okay? So you see what I'm doing there, laying them right close. Now we're going to continue to make these kind of bunches all the way around the wreath, doing that same thing, taking one side and laying it against the circle, taking the other side and laying it against the circle, but offsetting them. I got green ink on my pinky. I want to make sure I don't hit the card with it. Same thing again, just kind of scooting myself along, okay, and doing these 2 pine bunches. Gosh, I don't know how to describe this. Let's do this. Taking the 2 needles, the pine needles, and making bunches with them like so. Kind of offsetting them, and I'm going all the way around the wreath.
Melissa said that someone told her that you could not use oxides for stamping, that they were only used for blending.
No, the oxides are... I've not found a way to not use them except with, you know, if you don't want them to move, like with alcohol markers or something. I love my oxides for stamping. They're actually becoming my favorite thing to stamp with. They're so rich.
Nayoka's calling that a pine bow.
Bow?
Well, she said bow one time and then she changed it to bow.
So look at this. So this kind of looks like some really inexpensive garland. You know when you get the garland that's really like skinny?
Yeah,
which is popular this year. Which was another trend this year, was those skinny, the skinny looking, I don't know. Okay, so I've done that.
Charlie Brown wreath?
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, I've left myself these gaps, right? I'm going to go to the pine cone. I'm going to fill in with the pine cone. So just like this. And I'm not really filling in. I just want to place my pine cones at this point, okay? So anywhere I have like these little sections where I want to put a pine cone, I am. I think I'm going to just kind of do every other one for now and see how we land. See how things start to look. And then we'll come back and fill in. I love to make wreaths, and I especially love to stamp wreaths. They're so fun. I'm going to add one right there just because I feel like it. And I think I'm going to add one here just because I think it needs one. Probably going to come back over here.
You might as well just get all of them.
I mean, I like them. I love the look of the pine cones with them. I think it's beautiful. I'm not going to put one at the bottom. Yes, I am. I said I wasn't. It's my wreath, right?
It is.
Okay.
Do your thing.
So as many pine cones as you want. Now then, I'm going to go back to this dude. Here's what I love. I can stamp the entire piece and do some fill-in. Look, right here needs a fill-in. See how it just automatically fills it in? And I can come in and do another entire one, just like this. And I'm going to go around the whole thing, and anywhere I think I need an entire piece of this, I'm just going to stamp it. What I mean by entire piece is in a minute, we're going to selectively ink this little dude and really fill in. Look how quick we're getting a wreath. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. All right, so here's what selectively inking means. I'm going to clean this dude, and look, I have just used my scrubber to death. I do wash this about once a month. I wash it every now and then, but I just do this and just do this, and I get a clean stamp so I can keep going. So what I'm going to do is selectively ink this, and what I mean by that is I'm only inking the tip. See that? Probably can see it better on the white. Only inked the tip of it, right? So then I'm going to come in front of this little pine cone where it just needs a little tiny fill in and just stamp that into place. And look, it looks like I stamped behind it, but I didn't. I just stamped above it, right? I just selectively inked my little pine bough bow thing. See, same thing. And you can do this as much as you want. Like, you can fill it in a whole lot, or you can leave it sparse. Remember, it's your wreath. Did you hear me say wreath? With an F and a TH, wreath. All right, so I'm doing the selective inking thing, going everywhere I want to go. Remember, take a second and kind of step back and look at it, because you can overdo it. I mean, I think you can. You have to kind of look at it, okay? So here we go. I think this down here needs one. And I'm going to go in the other direction with this one just for some movement. So see? I love this stamp set just for this wreath. When I did this stamp set, this was the first thing I had in mind. First thing. Look how pretty that is.
It's very awesome.
Love it. All right.
Miss Jones said again, it's your craft fabulous magic in action.
It's not cracked pistachio, by the way. I'm glad you asked. That's Lucky Clover. I really love how the Lucky Clover looks on the watercolor paper. I think it's pretty. You don't have to use watercolor paper by no means. I just was playing with it and didn't want to get any other out. Now, let me show you this. Well, somebody said the smaller pine thing. I used the smallest one on the set. That's why I did the selective inking, because I used the smallest one. All right. Gold pen. Love this pen for my holiday cards. I think it's great, okay? Anytime you finish something like this, I want to show you. You probably didn't notice it before. Let's come back and look. Do you see the gold pen on this one? Can you see where I've added the little like gold berries? I think that third element gives your eye a little more play. It you know, drags your eye around the page. So I just like to do these little 3 berry clusters. Let me zoom you. I just like those little berry clusters. I think it really makes your eye move around the card, and I just love how they look. I also, once I do the 3 berries, I'll come back and just do some single berries just here and there, just because I think it works, you know? I just think it's really cute. So, look how cute that is. I love it. Are we in focus? We are, right?
Seems like it.
Then I'm going to come back in and in these places just do some dots. And I think it just really, that extra touch just sets it off, in my opinion. There we go. She's so funny, Miss Jones. Tell me what Miss Jones just said.
Yeah, Miss Jones said not to be confused with Chuck Berry.
With Chuck Berry, that's right. All right, I'm going to now add some ribbon. I love this for wreath cards. I think this is beautiful to add these little ribbons, and it's so easy. This is actually baker's twine. Taking my pokey tool, coming to the top of this dude, and I'm just going to poke a hole. I'm going to go kind of deep on this one. So I'm poking a hole. When I say kind of deep, I mean kind of into the wreath a little bit. So let's poke a hole. Poke this dude through. Now I got to make it a pretty big hole. You could hole punch this, by the way. I got to make this a pretty big hole because I'm putting a pretty thick twine through it. And y'all really going to see me just be as janky as I can be. Some of you guys might know what janky means. My kids tell me it's pretty much what I am. So I'm going to cut me a piece of this right here and just snip this off. Okay, so this is going to go through, and I'm going to use a piece of painter's tape because I don't care. I have this. Here's why. It's sitting next to me and I didn't have to leave my room to get Scotch tape. If you have Scotch tape, feel free to use it. I'm just kind of like that, right? Vince knows it.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to stick this through this hole right here. And I don't have my threader. I should have got my threader out, but I didn't. So we're just going to go with it. Poke this dude through. Like so.
Lots of uses for the pokey tool.
Oh, I love my pokey tool. So it's through that one side. I'm going to flip this over. And I'm just going to lay this down onto the top. We're just wrapping it over. See how I just wrapped that over? And I'm going to take this piece of painter's tape and just hold it into place. You're not going to see that, so don't stress about it, okay? It doesn't matter. Look, you don't even see it. Let's just line this dude up. So now it looks like we've hung the wreath. Ooh, I'm struggling with wreath today. Looks like we've hung it, and it's super cute. Now for my favorite part, let's add a bow. Now here's the thing. I always get too much. I know I get too much. I always get too much. But I find that I work better if I don't make myself tie a little teeny tiny bow with you know, 2.5 inches of baker's twine. By the way, I'm talking and not telling you what I'm doing. I'm going to bunny ear this. I've made these 2 bunny ears. I'm going to cross them over each other and stick one through the hole at the middle. And I'm loosely pulling this into a bow, okay? That looks like a mess, right? Let's fix it. I'm going to take my fingers and hold that middle. If you want to use your tweezers for this, your reverse tweezers, you can do that. But for this card, this is not a problem because I can hold this in my hand. While this is loose, why do we need to leave it loose? Because if you tighten this, when you pull that string, it unravels the twist, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to now tighten it a little more, but not all the way. Going to keep adjusting. I'm not going to tighten it till I get that bow to look like I want it to, and then I will tighten it down. And it's pretty much like I want it. This is a great baker's twine. I got this at Walmart, and it's got like a copper thread in it. Then I'll just cut these edges off the length that I want them for my card. And I may need to adjust them again once I get it on. I think I will. That's a little too long. Let me trim this side. Something like that. And then that's going to live at the top. Okay, how do I put that on? With a glue dot. Now, I wanted to show you guys this. If you purchase these glue dots from us, I love these. We have them in like 4 sizes.
Yes, I believe
4 sizes.
Correct.
I want to show you this. If you, when you get it, what you do is you pull the tape, for lack of a better word, you pull the strip out and you tuck it under here, and then you remove these little perforated yellow pieces. I wanted to show y'all this. I don't think I've ever shown you this. So then those are just discarded. You don't need those. And then whenever you want to get one, now I have a few that are tucked under here because I just did it, and I'm not going to waste these. I'm going to grab this real quick. I'm going to stick that right there for a second. But then whenever you start feeding them, see how they come out like that, so you can grab it like this? That's what that is for. So I've put one on. I'm actually going to put 2 on because I'm using the mini. I'm not using the minis today. I'm using the mediums, I think. Let me see, because I know somebody's going to know. No, I'm using the smalls. So I put 2 on there, and then I'm just going to stick this little bow down right to them. The cool thing I like about the glue dots is I can take my little bow tails and tuck them in there and kind of make them do that. See how I kind of made them come straight down? I love that. All right, let's stamp down here. You might want to stamp before you do all this, but that's just the way I do things. I'm just like that. I'm using 2 from that set. I'm using the one that says Deck the Halls and the one that says With Boughs of Holly. And I'm going to go to the brown first, using that vintage photo oxide. So pretty. And I'm going to stamp it kind of off to one side underneath the wreath. And it'll say Deck the Halls. Just like so. Super cute. Then I'm going to go into that green, and I'm going to do this Lucky Clover. I'm going to do With Boughs of Holly. And then I'm going to stamp that underneath. I'm not getting my head in the way. This is probably going to be crooked. You'll forgive me. It is, but it's not too bad. I would still use this card. Then I want to show you something. So, I have this other stamp loaded on my ruler. This is from, I think this one's from Baubles and Bling. This is the like little stringy piece for like hanging ornaments off of from Baubles and Bling. I'm going to use it and make this cute little decoration at the bottom. I'll show you what I mean. This is an Ioka tip. This is take your ruler and stick this down, right? Stick it onto here. When you have stamps that are long and thin, you can use your ruler for this because they'll stick. And you can still see through it, right? All right, so I'm going to go right underneath there and stamp 1 from my ruler. Look at that, it looks cute. It's all crooked. We'll just give it to somebody that sees crooked. My mom, she would love it. She wouldn't care. She'd be like, oh, I love it because you made it, right? And then I'll put this one down. When you do this in your own craft room, get your head over your card so you can see what you're doing, okay? All right, then this one is ready to mount. A couple more tips I'm going to give you real quick. So this guy is going to go on this guy. And notice I have very little peeking out, very little of that copper peeking out, because I want some green too. I wanted like multiple colors on this card. So I'm going to have some green from my card showing, and then this guy. But So many times when I do this, let me pull this out a little bit. When I do this, so many people don't like that I'm covering up all this copper. So here's all you do. Just come in here with your knife, with your scissors, whatever you got. And then, can I tell you that makes my teeth go funny?
I bet.
Oh, this copper and this blade. Woo, I don't like it, y'all. I gotta do this quick. So I'm gonna cut away the center of this. Oh my gosh. This did not do this a while ago when I did this.
The funniest thing I've ever heard is you holding the charging cable that you bought yourself yesterday.
You guys.
And saying it made your teeth feel funny.
It did. I bought myself a charging cable that has a metal layer on the outside so it can't get shredded because I shred so much. And I held it in my hand and it made my teeth go crazy.
I gotta tell you, for eyeballing that, you cut that mighty straight.
So look at this right here. Look at this right here. I'm saving this piece for future, right? It'll be used for something else. And then this, we got a hole. Don't worry. Look what's going to go right here. Right there. No one's going to know it. I love when no one knows it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're such a hoot.
You did this craft and no one knows it. Okay. I'm going to put some glue onto my copper. So you wouldn't believe how many people, there's like a certain group of people that are not going to waste any single piece of their project. And that's something they do all the time. This is not my idea. I actually don't remember where I learned it. Probably from one of you guys. I don't know. So a lot of people do that. And the only time I don't like to do it is when I'm not using a very sturdy piece here. Since this is watercolor paper, it's real sturdy. And I don't like to do it if this piece is like a 65 pound or smaller, because I like a thick card. But when this is watercolor and it can kind of hold its own, this watercolor paper, it works fine for me. All right. Someone asked if I embossed this copper. No, this is actually a piece from a paper pack I had in my collection. It's just a Michael's paper pack, and my aunt gave it to me, and I've been hoarding my copper because I love it. But I gotta show y'all something. Okay, look at this real quick. This is from Walmart. This is a copper. This is gonna get me again. This is a copper wallpaper. Contact paper. Have you ever seen this before? This is cool stuff. And I've been saving this little strip. I covered the top of a desk with this because I wanted my desk to have a copper surface. So I covered the top of my desk with it. But I want to show you something I think will work perfectly. So with this entire roll, here's a scrap of some watercolor paper. If you go pick this up from Walmart, which is where I got, you probably could get it on Amazon. I don't know. I just found it at Walmart to cover the top of a desk. And peel this off, right? And put this onto some paper. My theory is you would be able to run this through your embossing machine with any embossing folder you have and make your own copper paper, right? Let's do a little test real quick. I'm gonna get my embossing tool and let's just see let's do it on here. Use what you got.
Do you have a particular place that you get your watercolor paper from?
I buy a pack from, I use it so little that I bought a pack from Michael's years ago, just some Artist Loft watercolor paper, because I don't use it very often. Look, yeah, you could absolutely do that. You could just emboss it and make, with that shiny in it, and make yourself some copper paper with that roll from Walmart. And man, you can make anything you want with that. All right, so here we go. Glue this guy on. Ooh, I think it's raining.
It better not be.
If it is raining, we need to get the boys to go get the sign. Is that rain?
I have no idea.
All right, so I'm gonna glue this guy down. Notice that I left a little more green at the top and the bottom. Can you see that? Than the sides. I don't know. I like to do that sometimes. And I did it on this one too. I think it's pretty to have a little more green at the top and the bottom like that. So there's 2 cards. All right, let's do the inside. I didn't show the inside. Look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's do the inside. Let's bring our inside piece back over. And here's what I did. I took from the same stamp set. We're still working with the same one, okay? I'm gonna put my lid on my glue real quick. I'm going to use the Fond Christmas Greetings sentiment in the brown. Come down here to this corner and stamp that. I'm big on putting these small sentiments in the corner. I love how that looks. You could put it in the middle right here. It doesn't matter. Then I thought, just to decorate this up a little bit, I would add some of the same from the front to the inside. So I'm going to take the little pine branch, and stamp one facing a little bit down, and then stamp one facing a little bit up, like so. Back to the pine cone. Put one right there, like a little grouping. And you could get that closer, further, whatever. I kind of did that quick. And then that's the inside, and you still have plenty of room to write in there. So let's bring our card back over, open it up, and glue that center in. Here we go. Any questions? I haven't been looking.
Connie just asked, do you ever stamp the envelope to match?
For something like this, I probably would, because I think this is beautiful. I think these colors and things are so pretty together. I have been known to do that. I like to decorate the envelope too. So look, there's 2 cards for my Christmas stash, right? I love how that turned out. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Would you have ever looked at this stamp set and thought that? You know, you have to come and think outside the box sometimes. And that's what I wanted to show you guys, is how taking that tiny little pine thingy and that tiny little pine cone, and you made yourself a wreath. And you know, did you notice I didn't even erase the pencil? I didn't have to. You can't see it through the oxide. I think it works really well. 1 stamp set, 2 inks, 15 blocks. You don't have to have 15 blocks. I'm quite the block hoarder. So there you go. I did that in 26 minutes and we chatted a lot. Don't forget, this is a block too. Use your ruler when you need it. So, what do you think, man?
I'm impressed.
You like it?
As always.
I think this is a fun one, and I think you can do it with anything. Matter of fact, let me show you this. It's still drying, and this is going to be for Saturday's video, but this is where I was working with watercolor paper, and this is from our new stamp set called Deck the Halls. This is the one that's the planner stamp set, and it has all these tiny little holly leaves in it. So this is from that, and it's very much the same process. And I haven't filled this one in. I went ahead and did some I did some Nuvo drops on this, and so it's been sitting over there drying, so I don't want to touch it. But this one is, I actually watercolored. It's for Saturday. So watch for Saturday's video, because I'm gonna show you these. I think they're really cool. I think they're awesome. They're still drying. All right, guys, we're going to head into the Crafter After Show, where we can answer your questions and talk to you a little more loosely and freely about whatever you want to talk about. And we have a lot of Across the Mile stuff today. A lot. So we'll probably start with Across the Miles when we head over there. So what we're going to do is sign out here. If you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. That makes me feel so good, because I think you like what I'm doing. And if you don't like what I'm doing, maybe just message me privately. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me know what you think about this process in the comments below. And if you make a card like this, head over to our Facebook page called Maymay Made It, and so did I, and share them with us. We love to see your creations, especially your card making creations, because I love them. All right, guys, give us about, I don't know, 37 seconds to set up the next one, and we'll be right back.
Why couldn't you just say bye, y'all?
37 seconds. That's what I said.